Hello, my awake friends. Today we're going to take on the topic of inspirational quotes. Inspirational quotes are all over social media these days. And here's the trouble with inspirational quotes. You ready? When we read an inspirational quote, and let's say the quote's about happiness, and we really want to be happy, so we're literally thinking, oh, I want to be happy. When we want to be happy, that quote, through the inspiration of that quote, it actually meets up with 5, 10, 15, 20 years of our conditioning. And our conditioning might have been fear, anxiety, unhappiness, depression. So the issue is that inspirational quote meets up against a melange, I think that's the term, a melange of our conditioning. And it may have all those qualities in there. So what do? We're left with this great gap between the quote itself and the reality of our life, and our mind running 5, 10, 15 years of habitual conditioning. This is what we do. You ready? We feel happiness. So instead of thinking it and feeling the disconnect between the quote and the reality of your habitual conditioning, what you do is choose to feel happiness. What would my life feel like if I were truly happy? What does a happy life feel like? This is the bridge between the quote and the conditioning, the mind running its loop. The bridge is the feeling of the happiness. And really soaking yourself, immersing yourself in, what does a happy life feel like? This is the bridge. Let's say the quote is about courage, and you're not feeling very courageous that day. Rather than thinking I should be courageous, stop and pause, breathe and receive, and then take a moment to feel what it would feel like to be courageous. This helps the mind lose its conditioning. And that conditioning, those habits of feeling not courageous, of not feeling happy, of feeling fearful, they start just to slowly fall off. It takes time. And they start to slowly fall off. So we're moving from this thinking, this habituated thinking, into the feeling of happiness, the feeling of being courageous, the feeling of being inspired by the quote itself. And over a period of time, that very resonance will meet you. So when you see all those inspirational quotes plastered up on Instagram or Facebook, and you're saying, wow, that's a pretty big disconnect from my life, pause, feel, and then that resonance, what the quote is designed to instill, that resonance can start to meet you. But it takes practice. It takes practice over a steady period of time. Another thing you can do, so we got the feeling part, another thing you can do, if there's a disconnect between the quote and what the conditioning, the looping of your mind, the habituated part of your mind is running, you can also get curious. So curiosity is another nice bridge between the habituated mind and the quote. So you can get curious and say, aha, I'm curious. What can I do in my life that would help me feel happier today? So there's not such a big gap between the two. Curiosity is another nice bridge. Next time you read that quote, I hope you remember to feel the essence of the quote rather than think it, and just let your mind calm down. This happens over a period of time, steady practice over a period of time. The other thing you can do, remember, get curious.